In my social media posts, I'll often write about the power of faith in business. Now, I know it doesn't sound like a business concept, and if you're not someone who is spiritually aware or religious, you might think of this as something that just doesn't make sense. I don't want to believe in faith. I want the facts. I want the figures. I want the marketing plan. I want the surveys. I want those things that will prove that this works. I want some evidence that this will work. And I have to tell you that I don't know anybody who has succeeded in business that did not have faith. Now, they might not have called it that. They might have said that it was confidence, or they might have said that it's vision, or that they had the ability to look at what's coming and predict what's coming. But I call it faith, and I'm not saying that it is a spiritual thing, even though I look at it that way, to be frank with you. But it's confidence in something you don't see. Now, I know if you are a person who is very spiritual in your thinking, and committed to religion, you understand this concept really well. But I'm really speaking to individuals who might not be, because I've found that entrepreneurs who are successful, salespeople who are successful, operational people, service people, health professionals, doctors, they've got something that essentially you can't really quantify, prove, and often there isn't any evidence, but they believe that they can see the results that they want to see. So an entrepreneur might look at a marketplace and see some things that convinces he or she that there is an opportunity there. A salesperson will hear no constantly, will see very little evidence that they're making progress, but will say, well, we'll get the next one. Let me call this guy again. I couldn't reach him last week. Let me try it one more time. Let me show up. Let me see if this will work. And gradually, they will start to see evidence that their belief, that their thoughts, that their vision, so to speak, is taking shape. I think this is one of the most compelling things about business, and one of the things that is most exciting. Now, I have to be clear with you and be candid with you. Being an entrepreneur for a long time and pushing the limits and dealing with the various things that are required to grow a business and having my ups and downs, I am sometimes impatient with people who don't have faith, people who don't believe in what they're doing, people who are so quick to latch on to doubt, people who will try something one time and for whatever reason it doesn't demonstrate to them the results that they're expecting, and they say, well, this is not something I'm going to do. Or they need all kinds of things to support what they're doing, because I know when you're out there in the market that when you are going to bet on somebody, you're going to bet on that person who believes that they can do it. That's what venture capitalists do. That's what private equity firms do. That's what angel investors do. They bet on the person behind the idea, not the facts and the figures. They take that business plan that you spent a lot of time on and they skim through it and they throw it away. They take those predictions, those projections, and they don't believe them. What they believe is, would I invest in this person? Can this person pull this off? Why can this person pull this off as opposed to another person out there? And so that is the muscle you have to develop as an entrepreneur. And no matter what market you're in, no matter what business you're in, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you're doing, you have to look at the market and say, I can still win. You know, I didn't think about that until just now, that my book, You Can Still Win, I've always described it as a book about resilience, breakthrough, bounce back, come from behind and flourish is the subtitle. But perhaps it's a book about faith, because when I have spoken to people over the years and I've listened to their issues and I've listened to what they've dealt with, I always would hear myself saying, but you know, you can still win. You can still win. And not long ago, when I watched Tiger Woods win the Masters, I thought about that title again, You Can Still Win. Now, I mentioned Tiger when I wrote that book, probably 9 years ago now, that particular book. I wrote about him in the book. So it was interesting to me to see it come full circle and to have so many people doubt him. So many people think, well, you know, he can't come back. He's had too many issues, both in his personal life and in his health. And there's lots of people out there who look like they could beat him. But you've got to, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a business person, no matter what role you play out there, faith is important. And you can have the odds against you, but you can overcome those odds and you can still win. So as you go about your work today, as you go about your business, as you go about your sales territory, as you work your online business, as you work with your clients, as you work with your customers, as you explore new avenues and opportunities, remember that none of it matters if you don't have faith in yourself and your ability to pull it off. You have to have faith in what you're doing. You have to have faith in your success, faith in your methodology, faith in your strategy, faith in your people, faith in your clients, faith in your product, faith in your service, faith that things will come together even if it appears that they're not coming together. That's what it's about. It's working diligently, working focused, working in belief, and working in excellence when there's little evidence that it's all going to come together. And gradually, what will happen, sometimes quickly, what will happen is you'll see more and more evidence. And your reaction to that evidence, your belief in that evidence, that faith that you started with when there was no evidence is going to multiply more faith for you. And you know what? The marketplace will begin to get it. And they'll say, you know what? This is the person that we need to bet on. Some people need lots of evidence. But you can get there with very little if you believe in what you're doing and you work in faith and you proceed in faith no matter what. I hope you like this tip. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Have faith in what you're doing. Make sure you subscribe to my business. Subscribe to my channel. You can subscribe to my business too. And I look forward to chatting with you another time. I'll talk to you next time.